The bikers roared into the gas station, like they owned the world, laughing loudly, revving engines, scaring customers away. But their laughter grew even louder when they noticed a little girl in a pink shirt calmly walking between two massive military K9 dogs. "Look at this," one biker shouted. "A tiny handler with two oversized pets." The others burst into mocking applause, but the girl didn't flinch. She kept walking, eyes focused, steps steady. The dogs perfectly trained at her side. Then one biker made a mistake, a big one. He stepped toward her. In the next second, the dog's posture changed. Their ears snapped forward, their bodies tightened, and the bikers learned too late that these weren't pets. They were trained military guardians, and they showed no mercy because in seconds they realized they hadn't mocked a little girl. They had provoked warriors trained for battle. What the dogs did next shocked everyone. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The sun was just beginning to set, washing the gas station in a warm orange glow as a little girl named Lily stepped out of a pickup truck. She couldn't have been older than 9, dressed in a bright pink shirt and white shorts. But what caught everyone's eye wasn't her tiny frame. It was the two massive military K9 dogs walking perfectly at her sides. Their pace steady, their eyes focused, their posture unmistakably disciplined. That's when the roar of engines shattered the calm. A group of bikers swarmed into the station, laughing loudly, revving their motorcycles as if competing for attention. Customers flinched. Employees backed away, but the bikers only grew bolder. And then one of them spotted Lily. "You kidding me?" He laughed loudly. "Who let a little girl play soldier with attack dogs?" The others erupted in mocking cheers, clapping as if they'd spotted some kind of joke. But Lily didn't react. She walked with steady confidence, her dogs glued to her movements like shadows, trained for war. Her silence irritated the bikers. Their smirks deepened. No one realized it yet, but the moment they mocked that little girl, they crossed a line they would soon regret. Lily continued walking toward the store entrance, pretending not to hear the mocking voices behind her. But the bikers weren't done. One of them, a broad-shouldered man with a thunderous voice, took a step forward, wiping his greasy hands on his vest. "Hey, little princess," he shouted. "Where's your daddy? Or are these mutts supposed to protect you?" His friends howled with laughter. Lily stopped. The dog stopped with her, perfectly synced. She didn't turn around, didn't speak. Instead, she gave the slightest hand signal, almost invisible. Both canines instantly shifted their stance, planting their paws firmly, heads lifting, eyes sharpening. A warning, but the bikers didn't recognize it. The loud man strutted closer. "What's that? You think those oversized pets scare me?" He reached out as if daring to touch one of the dogs. Gas station customers froze, sensing danger. A police officer, fueling up nearby, narrowed his eyes, noticing the dog's sudden change in Posture. The little girl finally turned. Her head, her voice calm, steady, almost chilling. Please don't do that. Her words should have been enough. But the biker smirked, leaning in even farther. That single reckless move triggered something none of them were prepared for. The biker's hand hovered inches from the nearest K9 when everything changed in a heartbeat. Both dogs snapped into full protection mode. Ears forward, bodies lowered, muscles coiled, like springs ready to launch. A deep, rumbling growl vibrated through the air, powerful enough to silence every laugh. Behind the biker's back, he froze. Lily didn't yell. She didn't panic. She simply lifted her hand a second time. Barely a gesture, but the dogs responded. Instantly, stepping forward in unison, cutting the biker off with a precision no ordinary pet could match. What the? The biker stuttered, stumbling back. His friends stopped laughing. These weren't guard dogs. These were warriors. The police officer at the pump straightened, recognizing the unmistakable posture of elite military kinds trained to neutralize threats within seconds. The dog's eyes stayed locked on the biker, unblinking, calculating every movement he made. Back up, Lily said quietly. It wasn't a plea. It was a command, and the dogs echoed it with a thunderous bark that rattled the metal pumps. Customers gasped. Even the toughest biker felt his bravado crack. For the first time, the men realized they weren't mocking a little girl. They were provoking two unstoppable military guardians. The tense standoff drew the attention of the off-duty police officer. He stepped closer, hand resting near his holster, not out of fear of the dogs but out of concern for what the bikers might do next. His eyes widened as he observed the precision in the K9's movements. These aren't regular dog, he murmured. Lily turned slightly, her voice soft, but unwavering. Please, don't make them defend me. They're trained for real threats. The lead biker scoffed, trying to regain his fading confidence. Trained by who? You. Before Lily could answer, the officer stepped in. I know that posture. Those are military special operations dogs. He knelt, noting the scars, the muscle tone, the discipline. Where'd you get them? Lily hesitated, then lifted her chin. My dad trained them. He was a K9 master sergeant. Before he deployed, he taught me everything he knew. The bikers exchanged uneasy glances. The officer nodded slowly. Only elite handlers can control dogs like these, and she's doing it better than most adults. For the first time, the biker smirks disappeared. They hadn't mocked a child with pets. They had mocked a child carrying her father's legacy and commanding warriors built for battle. The officer raised a hand, signaling everyone to stay back. Let her handle it, he said quietly. The bikers shifted uneasily, suddenly unsure of the situation they had created. Lily inhaled slowly, then gave a crisp command, one her father had taught her. Instantly, both canines separated, flanking the bikers with flawless coordination. Their movements were smooth, silent, terrifyingly precise. The loudest biker spun around, startled to find one dog behind him, the other blocking his escape. What is this? He snapped, but His voice cracked. Lily raised her hand. Again. The dogs advanced a single, synchronized step, forcing the bikers into a tight circle. Each K9 kept perfect distance, never touching but making it impossible for anyone to move. Without facing razor-sharp discipline, customers watched in stunned silence. Phones came out. Whispers spread. The officer nodded with a mix of awe and respect. That's advanced perimeter control. Only elite units know that. One biker swallowed hard. Call them off, he muttered, fear replacing arrogance. Lily's expression softened, but her voice remained firm. They won't hurt you, unless you try to hurt someone else. The K9s held the formation with unbreakable focus. In seconds, the bikers learned. These weren't animals to mock. They were soldiers executing a mission. The gas station was silent except for the low, steady breathing of the K9s holding their formation. The bikers stood, frozen, no longer mocking, no longer bold, just humbled men realizing how close they'd come to crossing a line they couldn't control. Lily finally lifted her hand and gave a soft release command. Instantly, the dog stepped back, returning to her side with military sharpness. Their discipline alone was more powerful than any threat. The lead biker exhaled shakily. Kid, we didn't know, he muttered. We were just rude. Lily interrupted gently. My dad says people who look strong aren't always the strongest. Sometimes the quiet ones are. The officer stepped forward, resting a proud hand on Lily's shoulder. Your father would be honored, he said. You handled this like a true handler. The bikers nodded, shame replacing their earlier arrogance. One even removed his bandana in respect. We're sorry, he said sincerely. Didn't mean any harm. Lily smiled softly and patted her dogs' heads. Just don't disrespect anyone, especially without knowing their story. As the bikers quietly rode away, every customer watched her. A little girl standing tall between two warriors. That day the bikers didn't just meet military dogs. They met discipline, courage, and a handler beyond her